You're the best. Don't say yes, ma'am, like that. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm Sonia, and of course, these are the fellas. And this is our legal score. I gotta get used to saying the legal score. This is our legal score presentation, used formerly Prim and Proper Sports. So thank you everybody for always supporting us, for the likes, loves, and shares. Thank you for Pink Fan Fur, for the reels and the promos. And thank you, B, for the hype music and all the stuff. And by the way, I do like my new theme song. I forgot to message you back last night on my other show. Absolutely love it. Y'all, we starting this special presentation tonight. We got our birthday guy on here, James J. Trey Martin is the Big Five Wizzo. He's joined me. I celebrated less than 24 hours ago, and y'all know my motto: celebrate all month long. So y'all come on, wish James a happy birthday. And what's up to you, REM Dizzle? I never know Yenzer. I never know what to call
That's
him.
Robbie. You know Dizzle.
Robbie, the Robberator.
Dizzle.
But anyway, James, how was your birthday? How are you doing?
Uneventful, not too much. I'm just thankful to be 51, able to take care of myself and try to keep myself in shape and be with my family. That's it.
Absolutely. And yeah, so
He
and that's
just
what it's
says
all
happy
about.
birthday, young Jack Wagon.
I see him. And how are you doing, B?
I'm great. It's
Great.
Friday. 2 days off until I have to go back to the madhouse again.
Yeah.
It's been a madhouse for the last month. I have to been taking on my responsibilities, but whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Pretty soon I don't have to worry about those responsibilities. I have new ones. But anyway.
Yay. There
That's
you
another
go.
day.
Elevating. And of course, because this is the legal score, I've been in a legal symposium since 9 a.m. I pulled up at like 8:50. Tort reform in Georgia. You guys, I'll probably talk about that on my next show. It's a lot of stuff that's going to affect premiums for our insurance. So trust me, it's something that's very important. And I'll make it brief and not boring, I promise. Because y'all know I'm not a lawyer. I'm a law student. That's going to be my new hashtag. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a law student. So when you come on, all the expressions or opinions, they may be factual, but it's not giving legal advice. So all right, guys. Speaking of legal advice, Kyler Murray to the Minnesota Vikings. Now, this is big news. He signed on your birthday, J Train. Actually, being released from the Cardinals. He sat around for a few days, longer than I thought he would sit around. 1 year, the veteran minimum. That seems to be the trend, guys, with the Minnesota Vikings. This is following a high-stakes visit that he just had to Minneapolis just 24 hours prior. They saw him. They liked what they saw. Apparently, they're like, hey, we'll put you on our team for 1 year. And this is what I want to know, guys. I guess J.J. McCarthy's done, and Kirk Cousins is now rumored, if Aaron Rodgers retires, to be going to the Steelers as a starter. But if not, he will be a backup somewhere. So I know I added in a lot of factors, but the reason why I brought up Kirk Cousins is because I honestly thought Kirk would be going back to Minnesota.
Take this one, birthday guy.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
There's a lot to unpack there. Let's start with the first thing you mentioned in regards to Kyler Murphy getting a 1 year contract. I think it's a mixed bag in regards to what people view and of Kyler Murray, whether or not there's been talks about him being, whether or not he's a top 20 quarterback. Is he injury prone? Yes, I think he is. I mean, you can look at Kyler Murray and say that he's 5'10". He's been a failed experiment in Arizona, but he's had some good years. So it wasn't like as if the whole thing was a failure. Kyler Murray had some good years, particularly 2022 after he tore his ACL and recovered. He had a really impressive year. He went to the Pro Bowl. So
Mhm.
I mean, regardless of him playing out of the shotgun, you probably can play under center under Kevin O'Connell. But with Kevin O'Connell, what you're going to look for, I think the story here is not whether or not Kyler Murray can be successful there. It's going to be, I mean, under his own right. I think it's probably going to be more than that Kyler Murray can be successful there under the guise of or the tutelage under Kevin O'Connell and what he can do with him. Because most times when you see what coaches can do, they're going to make if the makings of a great head coach is one that can take a player and play to his strengths, play to the player's strengths. And I think that's probably what's going to happen here. You're going to see they're going to put it out there probably that JJ McCarthy and Kyler Murray are probably going to have camp battles. They're gonna go into the training camp, with the job open for either one of those quarterbacks. But in reality, one has far more experience as a quarterback, and that's Kyler Murray. And it's likely, for all intents and purposes, that he'll be the starter come 2026 season. And whether or not he's successful, that's yet to be seen. But he's got a lot more weapons here in Minnesota than he did in Arizona, and I think they have a great opportunity to be successful in that division with Kyler Murray under center. In regards to the Kirk Cousins discussion, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, we've seen this rerun over and over and over again. And what do we do with Aaron Rodgers? I mean, what does Pittsburgh do with Aaron Rodgers? I'm not so whether or not Aaron Rodgers comes back or leaves or retires, plays, it's just not great. Aaron Rodgers is in his 40s and he's not playing like the old Aaron Rodgers that we used to see. And so Kirk Cousins they might want to kick the tread on Kirk Cousins and bring him in, even if Aaron Rodgers is going to play. Let them two have a battle and duke it out, and let's see who's the best quarterback at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, B, what are your thoughts? I mean, I honestly didn't see Kyler Murray going to the Vikings. I don't know where I thought he was going, but I never thought about the Vikings. I'll just say that.
I mean, that was the rumor mill from the get-go in the free agency that he was going to go to the Vikings because the Vikings were in. I got to say something about the Vikings in this regard. They are having a problem getting a quarterback there because they made a mistake in the first place last year with Sam Darnold. It screwed up the whole timetable on JJ because JJ could have sat behind Sam Darnold and got a lot more learning done. Right now JJ, I'm not saying he's a franchise quarterback. I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback, but he's a quarterback that you can put on that offense and get the job done. But he's got to have, I think he's one of those guys you have to actually sit down and let him soak in stuff because he's not one of those quarterbacks that are going to come out there and throw haymakers at you. This is not going to happen. Signing Murray with the league minimum is a good move, but at the same time, and they're talking about there's going to be the JJ and the Kyler competition and camp. No, you're not going to. I think Minnesota's trying to put smoke and mirrors under it, but JJ is not going to start this year. It's going to be Kyler Murray because they want to see, and they gave him a 1-year deal, so it's a prove it deal really for Kyler. So there's no more Xbox he can be playing, no more Call of Duty he can be doing. So he's got to focus in on this team. And KOC is a very good coach when it comes to quarterbacks. I just don't think that Kyler Murray in this particular instance it can run KOC's offense efficiently because sometimes Kyler Murray likes to go off the grid and do things. And if you're playing under a system, a lot of coaches don't like that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens. I'm not saying he's going to you don't know what's going to happen really. I mean, he does have weapons here. So I mean, he can feast or famine. But it's up to him. He's got to either learn the position and play under that offensive mindset, or he's just going to he's got his year. Bye-bye. As far as Cousins is concerned. You know what? I'm sick of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's got to stop letting Rodgers dictate stuff. Dude, let me know what's going on. If you don't let me know by this date, F you. Bye. Because there's other people out there that I can get.
Yeah.
So really what they're doing is they're letting all these other quarterbacks pass through because they're waiting for this man. Man, I'm not going to be held ransom by a 40-year-old quarterback. I'm not doing it. Nope. I don't 42. Care who you is. What's your name?
42 now.
42. Mm-hmm. So I'm just not doing it. And you know what? I'm with Rod. Just go throw in Will Howard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Pittsburgh has done some pretty good things over in the free agency. I think they can survive a year with Will Howard on there. I think they can make Will Howard a better quarterback because they got McCarthy on there. And McCarthy's a good offensive coach. He's not a defensive coach like Tomlin was. So you might get something out of that. Don't know what, but, I think anything's better than Rodgers at this point. Obviously, Rob.
Yeah, does. I mean, Kyler Murray is getting $1.3 million from the Vikings because the Cardinals still are paying him. So they got him for dirt cheap. The Cardinals are still paying him $36.8 million in guarantees. So he's going to get the money regardless. He was able to sign for a very low cap hit. You guys know it's a lot of teams right now having cap issues despite the cap being raised up to $301.2 million. And there's still a lot of teams that are over the salary cap. So this is a very light hit. There's another team we'll talk about here shortly. They took a very light hit as well because another team is still paying that particular quarterback. Wow, tongue twister. But in addition, Kyler has a no tag clause. Because this deal included a no tag clause, this means the Vikings cannot put a franchise tag on him in 2027. And if he plays well, he will become an unrestricted free agent with massive leverage. So we'll see. I mean, he basically revealed in an introductory press conference that he grew up a diehard Vikings fan. So this is what he wanted to do. He shared that he cried very real tears in 2009 when the Vikings lost the NFC Championship. And he even posted a picture of himself as a 7-year-old, y'all, in a Vikings jersey with the caption saying "Skol." So this is where he wants to be. So I'm happy for him. I know a lot of people are saying there is a competition, but I don't know. I mean, JJ McCarthy, 2024, we're now almost starting the 2026 season. So that's 2 seasons removed. He struggled with a bunch of injuries, ankle, concussion protocol, broken hand, and just was inconsistent even when he was healthy throughout the entire season. So I think since they got him for the Lowski, they're going to just go out there and at least let him see, what he can do. Of course, Kyler has his own issues with injuries, so we don't want to forget about that. I mean, no quarterback that's available right now is 1,000% healthy. I don't think we're going to see that. He was on IR. He had played 5 games for the Cardinals, but his entire 2025 season was shortened because of that. He had, even with that, 962 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, so a split there. Rushed 29 carries, 173 yards, and 1 touchdown. His passer rating was decent, 88.6. 2024 for the Cardinals, he played the full season. That's the one we were talking about when you guys were talking about how he performed pretty solid. That was his last full healthy year in the league, y'all. He had over 3,000 yards, close to 4,000 in passing, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, but 21. And then rushing, he had 572 yards by himself with 5 touchdowns. And in 2024, he became the second fastest player in NFL history to reach 1,500 career completions. He had 2,248 attempts, trailing only from Justin Herbert. So he's had a lot of good stuff, total of over 20,000 yards with his time in the league from 2019 until now. I can't believe it's been that long since he's been in the league. So we'll have a chance to see what he looks like. And like you said, B, I know Minnesota is still clenching their teeth with the whole Sam Darnold thing. So they don't want to have a repeat because you want to talk about Skol. Those fans are going to be scalding hot. Okay, forget a scold. They're going to be scalding hot. So congratulations to Kyler, especially for him, going somewhere he clearly wanted to be since he was a kid. And that's as we say, that's how it goes. I don't know, guys. Do you guys think JJ McCarthy, This is his make or break season. So if he's not playing, he can't even make or break if Kyler's coming and taking over. Looks like the Vikings are going to be looking to move on from him in the third season.
I don't think they're going to be moving on. I just think that they need to sit JJ down behind a veteran quarterback, which Kyler Murray is. I wouldn't say he was the best example of a veteran quarterback, but he is a veteran quarterback. And, learn some things. He needs to sit. He's one of those quarterbacks that come out of college. You've got to sit down for a year or two and have him hold a clipboard and learn some things, because that's what kind of quarterback JJ McCarthy is. I don't think they're going to give up on him. That if they moved all the way up there, and of course the GM that's there that made that move is gone now. So I think what they're trying to do is right the ship. That's what they're just trying to do with the quarterback situation.
I don't know, B.
Yeah, that's about to say.
They could have picked any other quarterback and put somebody as a bridge quarterback. You take a high profile guy like Kyler Murray and put him in a different situation and combine him with a coach like Kevin O'Connell, and he starts to build a relationship with Justin Jefferson. And there's already some rocky stuff online between JJ McCarthy and Justin Jefferson. So what if they have success? What if he and Justin Jefferson hit it off and you got a 1-2 tandem and you have Addison on the other side? Even though I think he's going to be suspended, isn't he?
That was last year.
No, that was last year. Okay, yeah, yes. Who knows? Maybe again.
Dang.
Sorry, I'm not saying. I mean, it was for PEDs. I mean, sorry. I mean, or something, whatever it was he was doing. So I mean, but again, he's a good number two. Kyler's never really had that, and they have a good. What's the tight end's name? I can't think of it. Sorry,
is it
Hawkinson. It's Hawkinson. Yeah. Yes. And they brought Jones back, and they got I think Jordan Mason's still going to be there too. I don't think he's had all that in one offense, and then I like the offensive philosophy of Kevin O'Connell as well. If he balls out, you might have to sit another year or maybe trade him. I mean, in JJ McCarthy, because they may be giving Kyler Murray a contract.
Who are you going to trade him to? Who are you going to trade him to? He really doesn't have any body of work. He's really going to. We're going to trade him for a bag of chips, because that's about what he's going to go for. There's nobody that's going to want a quarterback.
Well, don't forget about the M&Ms to go with the bag of chips. And
I'm just saying, that Coke going. They're going to have to put JJ in. If they're going to do that, they will want to market JJ so that he can get good trade value. This is the point I'm trying to make. Right now, he has no trade value. Nobody wants him because of the output that he put in there. And unfortunately, and a lot of that's not his fault. A lot of that's the fact of how Minnesota set up the quarterback situation last year. You put too much faith in a guy. You shouldn't have been he never should have went number one. I mean, he shouldn't have been in the first round, and period. And a trade up for him, and a trade with the Jets to trade up for him. Come on, Minnesota. Eat a Snickers bar, because you're not acting normal. I don't know what's going on with there.
He's sitting there like for quite a minute.
Yeah. I mean, and another thing about Kyler Murray, too, you got to – I mean, it's great that he's playing for a team that he loved growing up as a kid, stuff like that. That might give him motivation. But we've seen Kyler Murray be the Kyler Murray under Cliff Kingsbury that's done so much. And then we've seen the Kyler Murray that the Rams just intimidated so much that he folded like a lawn chair. And so you're going to either get one of those two. So you got to make sure you kind of handle him with kid gloves in that sense. And I think KOC is a good person to do it. But that offensive line, man, they've taken some hits this offseason. So he better be running.
When you get in the league that long, though, the kid gloves are off. This dude's been in the league going on 6 years. Like, there are no more gloves, period. Kiddie or adult. Like, you're out there freezing your limbs off. You're getting no gloves. But anyway, we'll stay tuned to see what goes on. We'll probably be having the same conversation next season if there's no change. I do want to talk about another player, guys. Actually, two more that were sold for chump change. And James, I want to start with you because both of these trades, well, one wasn't really chump change, but one other one was, involved the NFC South. The most shocking news to me, I'll hold for a moment, But the other one, Tua Tagovailoa from the Miami Dolphins, is now the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons. Looks like starting quarterback, James. Looks like
Yeah,
looks
right
like
now.
for now. I mean, he's signed a 1 year, another veteran minimum, like we've been talking about. So 1.3. And despite a low cap hit, he's gonna still get $54 million from the majority of it being paid by the fans due to previous contract guarantees. So once again, the Falcons general manager Cunningham confirmed today, Friday the 13th, that there will be an open competition, but y'all know we don't believe that. He's going to battle supposedly Michael Penix Jr., who's currently recovering from this ACL injury still from November of last year. He's joining Kevin Stefanski, who no one's impressed about him being in Atlanta, not even Falcon fans, James. Coming down here with your 8 wins, which is what the Falcons already had by way of an NFC South toss up. And so it's not like you brought, not like you brought, I'm having a brain freeze. Josh Allen's coach. You didn't bring the McDermott down here. And so if you didn't bring him, or one of the Harbaughs, what are you talking about, Atlanta? I'm not impressed. But anyway, Stefanski is basically saying his system that he brought to Atlanta is relying heavily on timing and accuracy. So those were two of his greatest strengths while he was in Miami. Now he had like 2,600 passing yards his last season, and but he was ranked like 22nd. So nothing impressive. Just third most interceptions in the league. So nothing impressive. Started 14 games out of the season. Completion rate 67, so a little over half. His passer rating was just as high as Kyler's, 88.4, but he took 30 sacks, which would probably explain a lot of those interceptions because he probably was coughing them up when he was getting taken down. The key reason for Miami's move was supposedly a restructuring, a regression over the last 4 years that we've seen from Tua and the Mike McDaniel. But his expected points added per attempt plummeted, y'all, from plus 0.18 in 2022 to negative 0.1 in 2025. And his total yards per game went down from a peak 273 the previous season to only 190. So he's leaving South Beach as one of the most statistically significant quarterbacks in their franchise history, but he's not bringing a whole bunch to Atlanta. I mean, 18,000 yards. Is it enough, James? This is my point of saying that. You guys know I'll run through numbers all day because I just got my notes here. That's all. I don't know this stuff off the top of my head. Y'all know that. Everybody knows that. I'm not that good, but I bring my stuff in. Is it enough to even make a difference in Atlanta? Like, is it enough to make them different from where they were last season?
Well, Sonia, you are correct. This is a mirroring image of the Minnesota slash Kyler Murray situation. I mean, they're getting him on the cheap. They're getting him straight out of Miami. He's already paid. I'm pretty sure he's comfortable with his money. But is he going to play and do well? That's the question. I mean, they got Atlanta's got a whole new system right now. They got a new head coach in Stefanski, whom we can't forget, regardless of him being not doing so well in Cleveland. He still was head coach of the year twice within 6 years. So we can't forget that. And I think that the type of quarterback he wants by the one they drafted out of Oregon, in Dylan Gabriel, someone who's there, like you said, the offense is predicated on short, timely passes and accurate passes, and Tua can do that. Tua can throw those intermediate throws. He can throw those little slants and different passes, get the ball out of his hand within a matter of 3 seconds. Now, mind you, he's taken some major hits. I mean, I think part of that was on him sometimes holding the ball too long. Part of it was his offensive line not doing so well. But he's taken hits and he's suffered concussions. So that's something that we got to look out for potentially, because Atlanta doesn't have the best offensive line. They have a relatively decent one, but they don't have the best at all. But with that being said, you got a new sheriff in town, Matt Ryan, former quarterback, MVP for the Atlanta Falcons, is now their president. And of course, you got Cunningham, like you said, as their GM. I think they're trying to do some things because at the end of the day, they are a talented offense. You got several first round draft picks on the offense alone. I mean, Bijan Robinson, the running back. I mean, at some point he's going to need to get paid. He's there. You got Drake London. He's got a possessive receiver, a first round draft pick receiver that can catch the ball. So, and he can catch them quick. And now they got rid of Darnell Mooney recently and let him go. I think there was a situation that was their best number 2 wide receiver there, but they brought Zacchaeus back from Chicago. So that should probably.
They also got Johan Dotson too.
Yes, and Johan Dotson. So these are possession receivers and a little speedy, quick guys that can get in the mix as well and battle for number 2 and number 3. And then of course Kyle Pitts, who turned it on last season. We saw him do well, and so you got a coach that can do some things with them.
They've been saying something about Kyle maybe moving on. I just want to interject that for you.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think right now they put him on the didn't they put him on the franchise tag? Tag?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're gonna
and the thing about that extra stuff that's going on with Atlanta's always had a decent offensive line as well, so I'm sure that's going to be a little bit more of a benefit for Tua, and the fact that he's got a little bit more weapons. Austin Hooper also signed with Atlanta, so their offense is looking a lot better. I'm with those kind of things though, you always have to question whatever quarterback is there. If it's if it's broken leg guy or if it's concussion guy, when you gotta pick your mash unit type of dude. So that's the big thing. The chief is the help between the two. Penix has got to go out there and play and stay healthy. Tua's got to go out there and play and stay healthy. That's the key thing right there. I think,
just the last comment I have about that is regarding Michael Penix. It's a competition. It's been put out there. There's going to be a competition, but Penix is. I don't know if he fits the system as the style quarterback that Stefanski wants. So this might be they might be saving face by saying that it's a competition, but in reality, they're going to put Tua in place until they either draft a quarterback this year or get one next year, or to have Tua if he bounces back and have really outstanding season. Because let's not forget, Tua threw for almost 5,000 yards one season. He's thrown 1,700 yards twice to Tyreek Hill. That's nothing to sneeze at. So he can throw the ball. He can sling the rock. You just got to protect him and make sure his head doesn't touch the ground. Because I mean, he needs one of those big balloon helmets.
They said they had it. They've been saying they had him one. Everybody got jokes and stuff. It's so big. It's big.
That one meme where he's got that big old Darth Vader looking helmet on.
He needs to be Lord Helmet 2.0 for sure.
Right.
I guess so. In gist, yes, he is.
Yeah, he's recovering from surgery, so we don't even know if he's going to even make the first.
Sonya, don't call him that, please.
Don't call him what?
Jizz.
Pause.
What?
Nothing.
Yes.
Never mind.
No, I didn't. No, I was saying.
So
the gist of it is what I was saying.
There you go. Gotcha.
Yeah, you probably didn't hear me. So I was saying. So the gist of it is overall is we don't feel like Atlanta's going to be a threat.
Cool. Well, yes. I mean, I hope not. Saints took their linebacker that went there and thrived. They took him back, and Caden Ellis, and gave him a contract. So addition by subtraction from there. So hopefully we
don't
push
beat
them
that
down
drum, Robbie. Just don't beat that drum, buddy.
Yeah, no, because I will
say it.
It wasn't what you thought. Okay, this ain't that. This and that
don't
ain't
beat
this.
That drum.
All right. So
the
next person, of course, I want to speak about keeping it in the South, and then we'll actually, you know what? This is going to be where I'm going to pause for a moment. B, you can go ahead and do our announcement for everyone.
Alrighty, let's do that.
We'll be right back, guys. Oh. Okay, we're back. I thought we had one more promo to run, but I guess we don't.
Mm-mm,
See?
mm-mm.
Okay, so let
I
me
had
take
to.
this time
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Yeah.
to acknowledge my niece, Pearson Jones. Thank you, everyone who has donated for her. She officially has her scholarship competition on Sunday. And you guys can go to my page and see where I've already shared that. Congratulations to her in advance. I know God's going to do it big for her. And blessings to all those ladies who are also competing with her. And kudos to her mom and dad, JT and Anissa, and to everybody who has been 10 toes down, as they say, with Pearson. And Pearson, if you're listening or you see this on a replay, you got this. And Sasha and Lawson are so very proud of you. And so thanks for letting me share that, guys. All right. So we're
Go
back.
Pearson.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're back with the second half. And B, I'm sorry, after I ask this question to James, then the next segment I'll have a bunch of questions for you. But this is NFC South business. So I have to ask James. Plus, he's like, 100% on it. Another big trade that I did not see coming, and the first thing is I want to know if you saw this coming. Freaking Mike Evans goes from Tampa Bay to the Yay area. Thank you, Yenzer. I mean, 3 years, $60.4 million deal. So he's getting 20.1 million per year. And they're saying the motivation was it wasn't about money. Tampa Bay made a very aggressive offer to keep him, but Evans is now 32 years old, and he prioritized that he wants a win now team because he realizes, that he's not going to be able to play this game forever. And I don't know. When I saw that statement, that kind of was just like, whoa, like it was a telltale sign for me because I was like, it's one thing for him to say, okay, I'm just going to be here. They are devastated in Tampa Bay. Like he is the face
Mm-hmm.
of that franchise. He's been there 12 seasons. And so no one saw it. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, let me check this. This may be AI. I don't believe this. And of course, Adam Schefter, Shefty, if he said it's gospel, it's like the Bible, about the book of Sheft. And so it was there, and then it was everywhere. And then him to come out and make this statement, like, yeah, y'all, it's not even about the money. Even if they pay me less, I want to go somewhere I can win now. So my question is two-pronged. First, were you surprised about this change? And number two, that statement is so telling, James. I mean, we've seen Tampa Bay just continue to slide down the tandem here, in rankings and everything. And people have talked about it, but I thought this year would be their comeback year. At least they would try to give it a little more fight than they did last year. But then what does this mean for Tampa Bay? This dude is like your biggest player. He is bigger than the team itself in every single sense of the way. And so my second part of the question is, have we seen the last, is Tampa now back in the basement like they were in the, middle of the 2000s, where they belong?
I mean, Sonya, it's possible. I'm gonna tell you, it's possible. Look, when Tom Brady came to town, he they got opportunity to see what winning was like. They got opportunity to see what leadership was like. They got opportunity to see he rubbed elbows and stood in a huddle with somebody with a
Oh,
field general. And no disrespect to Baker Mayfield. No
mhm.
disrespect to him. I think he's good in his own right. I think Todd Bowles is a good head coach, but the situation was just magic with Arian. What's Coach Arians'
Bruce
name?
Arians.
Bruce Arians.
Bruce
Yeah,
Arians.
Bruce
Bruce Arians.
Arians.
Mm-hmm.
It was different, and no risk and no biscuit got tamed a little bit. And again, having Tom Brady there, they were able to see what winning was like. And then once you get that taste, and then you're not able to get to that mountaintop again. You have opportunities. You have really good teams that are in place, but then for whatever reason, you seem to let that go by the wayside. So I think in this situation, he knows what's out there in San Francisco. He knows what type of head coach is there. He knows that there's a really good quarterback there. There's a really good system there. There's an opportunity there. And so and then you go into California. Let's say, do I want to go to San Francisco or do I want to be in Tampa Bay? I mean, he's been there his whole career. like you said, 12 seasons, 11 of those with 1,000 yards, tying Jerry Rice. So there's a lot of ties back in Tampa Bay, but he's about to retire, so he wants to go get him another ring, and he has an opportunity now, and he's still getting paid. He's got 2 years, 60 million or something like that. Yeah. And
I mean, but
so
he didn't perform as well this last season either, though. James, we saw
look, let's not get it twisted. My man has always had some sort of injury problem, hamstring problem his whole career. So you take the good with the bad, but I think the good far outweighs the bad when you see what he can produce. So that's the biggest thing. And as a Saints fan, I hated this dude going up against our team because he could play. Now, when we had the prime Marshawn Lattimore, he would shut him down. Marshawn was his father. He was his dad, his adopted father. He was just owning him and telling him, son, stay down. But outside of him, he would dominate. And I hated seeing him going down because if you believe it or not, he ran a 4.6, a 4.56 or something like that in the 40 when his combine when he started. So you wouldn't think he's that. He's not that. He's just a great player though, and I have mad respect for him. So I hope he goes out there and have success, but not as much success to where the Saints aren't doing anything. But Saints lost a couple of their diehard players too. Demario Davis is with the Jets. He didn't want to go to the Jets to win. He wanted to go to the Jets to get his paycheck, his last paycheck, his retirement check, so he could be done and pay that $1. Get paid $1 with the Saints and retire a Saint. But that being said, kudos to Mike. What's my man?
Mike Evans.
Mike, I couldn't even think. Oh, good times. Yeah, sorry about that. That Mike Evans.
Oh, B is right. He was 44-32 as a starter, over 18,000. Excuse me, that is incorrect. My bad. I'm thinking about the wrong Florida person. Mike Evans. I'm thinking about Mike Evans had over 13,000 total career yards. It was a franchise record. 866 career receptions, also a franchise record. And then another franchise record for touchdowns, 108. Like, he set so many records, and he was dominant in 10 playoff games for the Bucs. He recorded 52 catches for 801 yards and 6 touchdowns. He is one of only 10 players in the NFL history, like completely, to have over 13,000 yards and 100 touchdowns, joining a list that includes, of course, Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and Larry Fitzgerald. And we just
all of whom are in the Hall of Fame. So
every one of them. So we know no matter what happens in San Fran, this dude is definitely first ballot Hall of Famer now. But we saw him battle these injuries, and that's when we saw the difference in his play. 8 games played last season, 30 receptions, only 368 yards, averaging 12.3 yards per catch, 3 touchdowns. His longest catch was 45 yards. Baker's in trouble. Baker is in trouble. Like, that's your right-hand man. That's your Robin to Batman. I mean, don't you agree, B?
I think for legacy purposes, it's a blow to Tampa Bay, but as people say in Hollywood, the show must go on, and they do have good receivers out there. You got to remember, Ecton, if he would have got his stuff together, he lit up the scoreboard in the beginning of the season, and he kind of faded down the stretch. And I think that was to the point that a lot of that responsibility was coming on because Godwin was hurt. They had injuries within the receiving core itself the whole season. But Tampa Bay still has a productive offensive line. They still have Baker Mayfield. They still have Godwin. As long as everybody comes back healthy, they should be still formidable and still have a pretty decent defense. I don't know if they're going to win that division now. I don't think it has nothing to do with Mike Evans, though. I think it just has to do with just the team itself is kind of like sliding a little bit down, and it's sometimes time catches up with the team. As far as him going to San Francisco on a 3-year, $60 million, if he's going there to think he's going to win, he might have picked a bad time. to do that, because I know, last year 49ers showed flashes, even though they had a lot of injured people on there and because of the coach. But the Rams,
they beat the dog out of them.
The Rams are just they have upped their game over the off season. They have upped their game. Where I think Seattle may not, people want to see Seattle repeat as a Super Bowl champion. It's not going to happen. It's rare when teams do that. But I think LA is going to be the team to beat in that division in the NFC period, because they've upped their game. So getting there right now, we'll see. I mean, everything's wait and see with all these moves that are being made in the offseason. But I mean, if that's what he want to do. I mean, he's a veteran. He wants to make that decision. He thought he could win better if he was at San Francisco. He is the best person to make that decision because he sees what's going on in Tampa Bay. He has front row seats to that. So if he feels that team isn't on that precipice of getting, better, then that's probably the reason why he made the decision he did. He's probably saying, yeah, Tampa Bay is kind of sliding. Let me go somewhere where it's an up and coming team, and San Francisco is that. So,
yeah, I mean, but I agree with you. They got beat so bad by the Rams. I'd be like, hot D the Rams, just gotta make it rhyme or whatever. Like, hot am the Rams, But I can't stand the Rams. They are my newest team that I literally despise. Y'all know, y'all call me the petty sports lady. Pink was saying on the pretty sports lady, I am petty. I'm gonna be petty all year, and I am gonna continue to talk trash because we are still the kings of the South. And I don't care how we got there, we still wearing the crown. Y'all can call me Game of Thrones at this point because they took folks out and stole crowns left and right, whatever they had to do to stay at the top. And that's what my Panthers are doing. But I will say this, and I don't know why he would pick San Francisco. Honestly, like, they've been decent, but I don't know if they're in the win now mentality. Like, I get that they were injured really bad because of the game. I just don't see them in a win now. I think they need like a little, they just need, I don't know what they need. Maybe Mike Evans is what they need.
Because he's taking he'll be taking the place of Brandon Ayuk, who went to Washington, by the way, if anybody didn't know that.
We never even heard him. We didn't know where the heck he was. I was like, he might be in the Canadian League. I was just about to like, this dude just doesn't.
No, Washington signed him. But they're
going to be without their tight end for a while. So let's not forget that.
Yeah, Kittle. Yep. So, I mean, but San Francisco's done good with injuries in their past anyway. I mean, they still got CMC in the backfield. They should be fine. Their offensive line is good, except maybe Trent Williams, and they're having problems with signing him. But other than that, I think their defense is just as good. Greenlaw came back to them, by the way. Dre Greenlaw is back with San Francisco. So, I mean, San Francisco's not a bad team at all. That's probably one of the better divisions in the NFC right now, in all of football, really. So I think it's time.
They are without Robert Saleh, though. So defensively,
that's true too. Yeah, this will be a new challenge, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, everything's a wait and see. A lot of things have changed in the NFL. Coaches change, players change. I mean, I think I read somewhere in the NFL, this is the most spent on free agents ever in NFL history. It's like in the billions, like 60 billion or something like that, 90 billion, 60, somewhere around there. That was a huge amount of spending that the NFL did. And it's funny because on one hand, you got these cap hit teams, and then on the other hand, you're spending this much money. So it kind of doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. I don't know how to say it. It's weird how these teams are, we don't have any cap space. Oh, whatever, dude. You make it happen, Captain.
Okay, so this may be a night, if it's okay, guys. We may need to go about 10 minutes over because I got a lot to still talk to y'all about for the NFL, and I need to get to the NBA, and I need to get to March Madness. James, I promise not to hold you up super late. 10:10, we're off because we're the last show, right, producer?
That's correct.
Okay, I'm gonna try to expedite this. I think I spent too much time on Kyler Murray. My bad, guys.
You're good.
And if we see James' camera go down, we'll just know he's out. Then we'll see him in the morning. So, because James be working hard, he gets up early. So anyway, all right. So let's talk about two other things in the NFL before we move on. I want to talk to y'all for real. B, I want your take on this. First of all, Yes, Greenlaw is returning from Denver back to the 49ers. He signed a 1-year deal. This just seems to be the magic number. He did have 490 tackles with Denver, over the last 6 seasons. My bad, not just with Denver. So he's back as of today. He signed. And the Cowboys are trading Oso Odigwehuzo, I know I'm saying that wrong, to the 49ers for a 3rd round pick and a move that's designed to clear up some cap space for them. We know the domino effect, but I don't think you guys have been on with me since the whole Trey Hendrickson move to Baltimore after the Max Crosby signing fell through. I mean, Baltimore actually shocked everybody. And James, I remember you putting in a group chat, should they be held for this? Because first of all, y'all were talking all this talk before the tampering time frame actually was lifted. So you really shouldn't have been sending stuff around Sunday and Monday, because it wasn't cleared until March 11th, which was Wednesday. And so this was all this, this person going here, this person going here. So just stay tuned. The NFL is probably going to have fines, because they sure fined the Falcons later on after finding about some intermeddlings with Kirk Cousins a couple of seasons ago. But the Ravens have stunned the entire AFC North by signing the former Bengals Pro Bowl pass rusher to a 4-year, $112 million contract. Immediately after they tried to get Max Crosby and it fell through, leaving Baltimore now desperate for that edge presence. So they heard and snatched up Trey. And what were you guys' thoughts on that and the whole Max Crosby? I'll just let you guys talk about that amongst yourselves, and then we'll plug to the next one, and then we'll go over to the NBA.
Go ahead, James.
Well, did she ask you first, sir?
I did, because I also want to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Well, first of all, there is a tampering period now. The NFL has a free tampering area now, which is ridiculous because it really doesn't make it. It's just weird. Anyway, NFL is just weird. Goodell is just weird. But as far as Max Crosby, the trade being nixed because they found out that his knee was maybe worse than they thought it was going to be. They knew they were getting damaged goods, but sometimes I kind of leave it like if you get a used cars now, they give you a 3 to 7 day window where you can return a car if you feel that it's not especially on used cars, if it's not going to be the car for you. And so I feel that this is the kind of scenario that they had. I know a lot of people are saying, well, they might have had buyer's remorse because it's the first time they had to give up draft picks for a player, ever, basically, because that's how their franchise never worked. But I maybe, but at the same time, they were trying to get Hendrickson too. They were trying to get both of them guys on that team. Hendrickson just coincidentally came later after this trade was nixed, but they were trying to get both of them. So they were trying to get bookend edges on this team. I think the thing that's undermining this whole situation is people are getting on Baltimore for what they did. It's the Raiders' fault. You sat here and you told this man you weren't going to trade him. The man did not want to be traded, nor did he open his mouth to say he wanted to be traded, and you traded him anyway. And then he gets put back to, oh, okay, it's great. So, I mean, who's the real villain in this whole situation? I think it's the Raiders. You don't sit there and play with the man's emotions like that. He's a Raider for life. And you just sitting there trading him back and forth and, hey, yeah, okay, I guess you can come play now. Oh, well, thank you for, throwing me out there in the first place. I mean, I would feel some kind of way if I was Max, but, Max is, like I said, he's a freaking Raider for life. So he let bygones be bygones. He said he's going to be 200% ready to play when the season comes. I hope the best for that guy, because I hope he comes out to, and the Raiders actually did good things on the offseason. They got him a defense. So now they practically got him a whole new linebacking core. So, I mean, he's in a perfect position now.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Raiders are the bad guys here. It's not like they sent them to a team that was like in destitute. They were sending it to a team that had success in the past. Unfortunately, last year they didn't have any success there. But they still have a lot of components and great players in place, including Lamar Jackson. If you have Lamar Jackson you have an excellent chance to win. And you sent them there for 2 first round draft picks. So you were trying to obtain 2 first round draft picks. I think where the Raiders messed up, I don't know the situation. I mean, I read an article saying can how can some team either recant or renege on a deal like this? Is when if a player does not pass the uh, the medical
Physical.
or the physical.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it with the Lakers when they tried to get that guy, the guy from Carolina, the 7 foot guy, and they sent them back and got their first round
Mm-hmm.
draft pick back. But I thought that was kind of weird. But I mean, when you're doing these medicals, if this tampering period, you, I guess you got to look at it from a situation where every team has their own medical team. They all look at things differently. Like, okay, like you said, which I agree with you, B, in regards to, yes, we all knew that the knee had some problems there. But then once you get it under your watch and you look at MRIs, you look at X-rays, and you're thinking, okay, yeah, we can't give this guy a 3 or 4 year contract because we don't know if this knee's going to hold up during that
Mm-hmm.
period. And
Mm-hmm.
so, with that being said, you have buyer's remorse, and I think the GM coming out for Baltimore saying that they wanted both players is total BS. They figured. I think what it was is they figured they could get Trey Hendrickson, who has no knee issues, and he's a free agent. We can get him for maybe close to the same price or maybe a little bit less, and we
Without
keep
giving
our
up picks.
draft pack capital.
I mean, you can
And
look at it that
so
way.
yeah, I think that's probably what they did. And with that being said, it's within the confines. I mean, it might be a dirtbag thing to do, but it's legal. It's within the rules of the game, and so they're allowed to do that. And so it's just what it is.
I wouldn't really call. I wouldn't call it a
Because
dirtbag thing.
I
It's just
kind of think it is because the other team. First of all, they're your conference. They're a conference foe, and they got to put money out there. They clearing space of the cap space to try to get other players, which they did. And so now you got to bring this guy back, and you're putting him back on your books. So it kind of messes your money up. So yes, it is a little bit of an issue there to me, and I think that's where everybody's like thinking, like, wow, this is
well,
a
that's
little
because,
dirty.
and that is only because they have a tampering period now. If they didn't have a tampering period, I guarantee none of this stuff would happen. Because this is a failing of what that tampering period does now. Because you can't, you got all these people signing, all these people promising to sign on Wednesday, and you're putting it out there in the public. Okay, before you couldn't do that because you're not allowed to do that. So they basically they wouldn't be able to have stuff on their books yet because they wouldn't be so sure that would happen. You could say something to the agent, doesn't mean the agent and the player are going to agree to that until Wednesday. So now you have that tampering period now that's free, and this is causing a whole bunch of problems. See, this is what happens when you change stuff around. So anything small like that with this free agent tamper period is going to cause a whole bunch of mess. And yes, it's getting a lot of traction. It's most money teams have spent on free agents in NFL history. So I guess it's good for that. And I think that's what Goodell is always trying to do, is trying to put the emphasis on the brand, but he's not thinking the whole thing through. It's kind of like NIL in a way. You know, you got it's a good thing to play the players, but have some rules that go along with it. And he's just foreshucking the rules for the free agency period now. So it is what it is. Everybody's happy now. I mean, the Raiders had enough cap space in the first place. They were like one of the top teams with the top cap. So they were saying the 30 million. As people were saying, oh yeah, the 30 million. Man, they probably could have. It was just double money. They would have had left some on the books anyway. So it is what it is. But
sticking with you, B, and then I'm going to ask everybody about their team changes so far. Sticking with you, B, the Kansas City Chiefs. are the new landing spot for Kenneth Walker, the third massive $45 million deal, making Isaiah Pacheco expendable. And now Isaiah has landed in the Lions' den. This is part of a larger chain reaction that saw that when the Lions traded David Montgomery, Monty, to create room for Pacheco, so it was a domino effect. Basically, Pacheco only has that 1 year deal. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, it's like you got to show and prove, but we know it's because he had that MCL sprain. I don't know how severe that injury is or what the timeline is for recovery, but this is perhaps the reason why it's one year. They did give him a little more than the standard 1.3 million. They're going to give him 1.81 million, and it's fully guaranteed. So even if he goes down, he's going to collect this money at home. Of course, Montgomery has gone to the Texans, and he was traded for offensive lineman Juice Scruggs and 2 draft picks. I hope Scruggs doesn't equivalate the word for scrubs later on. I hope we're not doing a
I
pun.
knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I'm just like Scruggs or Scrubs. Scrub. The Lions immediately are pivoting to Pacheco to serve as the thunder to the lightning of Jahmyr Gibbs. And he's expected to take over the heavy lifting duties previously held by Montgomery. And however, unlike the 50-50 split of previous years, the Lions front office has indicated Jahmyr Gibbs will be the clear lead back, while Pacheco will serve as some high energy insurance policy for y'all to make up for those short yardages. You know, they want him to be a specialist on that. Of course, Pacheco's final year in Kansas City sidelined him because he was limited, even, when he was there, lower leg injury, the MCL sprain that I'm talking about, missed 4 games because of that. Only 462 yards rushing, which was a career low for him because of that injury. Only 3.9 yards per carry. First time that he was under 4 yards per carry in his entire career. Significantly lower rushing touchdowns. He had 7 in 2023, only 1 the entire season with Kansas City, and 19 receptions, 101 yards, 1 touchdown through the air. But he had his longest run, only 16 yards, was his longest run last season, ranked number 47 in running backs in the league. So, lot to unpack there.
Well, that's not very much to unpack. He was an injured player last year. The Lions like signing former injured players all the time. I don't know what Brad Holmes is doing up there with that
Pack
thing.
it up from the hospital. That's what they're doing.
I'm not understanding that whole concept. I have on my One Ass Cheek Three Toes show, we got a new person I added onto the show, by the way. But Nate is always the Kool-Aid person on the show. Okay, it's a good sign. You should never trade Montgomery, and I'm not going to get into the whole Montgomery thing because then I'll be going on a rant, and then we'll be way past when we're supposed to be off, and James will be falling out sleeping somewhere, and I don't want to do that. But they, as far as the Lions are concerned, that's a fine. That's an okay signing. I'll deal with that. I got no choice. The trade that they got from Houston, if they make the trades, if they make the draft picks work, is fine. I'm not so sure about the offensive lineman. He played on Houston's offensive line, and he's a starter. And he was 31 out of 32 in starters. So that tells you a lot right there. But I did like, we're going to go into the whole situation. But how about the Lions signing people? Teddy Two Gloves Bridgewater has signed back with the Lions, which is great. I love that signing. Yeah, he'll be fine. Tight end Tyler Conklin also is signed with the Lions. That's a pretty good pickup as well, with the Laporta situation kind of iffy. Cade Mays from your Panthers, by the way, I thought that was a pretty fair signing. It's okay.
Yeah, we're done with him.
Well, he was a younger player than the center that you have now. But anyway, Larry Borum from the Dolphins, that I got to see. We did get 2 corners, of course, with the Rams signing. What's his face? What's the guy from Kansas? They just got Kansas City.
Trent McDuffie.
McDuffie.
Yeah.
They had to let go of a corner, and they let go of Roger McQuarrie. He was a pretty good corner on their team, but they had to let somebody go, obviously, by attrition. And we also got Christian Izine from the Buccaneers. He's just a guy. He's probably going to be a backup. But as far as the signings and stuff for the Lions, I mean, they're doing a good. I think they've regressed in a lot of fields because they let go a lot of players that were, players that did contribute to the team. Anzalone is playing for Tampa Bay right now, as I believe. Yeah, he's playing for Tampa Bay. Of course, Montgomery got traded. Muhammad, which was our 11.5 sack guy last year, he went to a different team. We don't know what's going on with our safeties because Brian Branch probably won't be back until November. And Kirby nobody knows what's going on with his knee. We don't even know if he's going to start the season. So we got 2 of our starting safeties that might even be playing in week 1. Our linebacking core still needs it. We got so many holes on this team right now. It's not even funny. I think we're regressing, to tell you the truth.
You lost Anzalone, right?
Yep.
Yep.
We lost Anzalone, and we lost Khalif Raymond, which was our kicker extraordinary and our third down receiver as well. We lost him to Chicago, of course, because Ben Johnson is petty like Dan Campbell is. So, and then we lost. Well, Graham is not a loss. They should have got rid of him in the first place. But Decker, they let Decker go as well. Those are 2 offensive guys, line guys. So we had to replace them. Decker probably be a little harder to replace. Graham should not be. That would be what Cade came in there for, to replace him. So I don't know, man.
Well, we wish you luck with that. Lots going on in Detroit. James, I'm going to give you the heads up because you guys really are trying to scare the NFC South. Big signing. Returning home. None other than Travis Etienne Jr., the running back, 4-year, $52 million contract, $13 million AAV and $28 million guaranteed. He's from Louisiana, Jennings High School, went to the Jags, been down there, very productive with them. And his final year, over 1,000 yards with Jacksonville, helped lead them to the wild card playoff berth. He's now joining Alvin Kamara, who recently restructured his contract to make sure, James, that they had the money to bring in a dual threat backfield. Then, of course, David Edwards, $61 million. Y'all got money down there in the NO. $45 million guaranteed. Edwards was signed in the opening hour of free agency. Soon as the clock struck 12, he was there to fix the porous left side of the line. So that's going to strengthen that. Comes from Buffalo, where he started 91% of snaps in last season. Noah Fant, God, dog, 2 years, $8.75 million contract, $4.5 million guaranteed. Fant's bringing that veteran stability from the league to the tight end room after a season in Cincy, where he served as a preliminary short yardage target. And then y'all's defensive and special teams homecoming, Caden Ellis. Golly, I'm done. I can't even talk about Ryan Wright, John Ridgway. You know what? Only now,
just to use your terms,
James, did I realize what it sounds like, because I've been seeing the stuff all week, and now I'm saying it. I see like James has this grit.
They're coming.
Smile. You know how the grit starts slowly smiling, and then it's a really big smile. It's like with every name, it got bigger, and now I'm just like, wow, man, pull up, pull up in the South. Like,
you're a mean
one.
Happy. Mr.
It's by the way, it's Etienne. It's not Etienne.
And I was gonna say, that boy back home now. He's Creole.
That's a Creole version of his name.
Etienne. So they're gonna get it right now.
It's not Etienne. It's Etienne.
You know, Etienne for a little bit. Nobody corrected him.
It's like Etienne, but they said, but I guess it's shortened because it's Creole.
Yeah, but now they're gonna get it right. Since he's back home, now they're gonna get it right.
Yeah, he said most people down there in New Orleans are going to actually pronounce it right, but the people in the media have been saying it already, like already. Etienne, Etienne,
That's
Etienne.
shame. Mm-hmm.
But it's really Etienne. But I mean, when you it's French, it's a true
Yeah,
It's that
Shin.
shame.
form to
That's
pronunciation.
Cree. That's definitely a
But
Creole
he's
French.
Creole. It's Creole version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's Etienne.
Mm-hmm.
But
But y'all did
that being
lose
said,
Alontae Taylor though, your cornerback, and then
yes, but
Demario
the only problem
Davis.
with yes, and possibly Cam Jordan if he's going to
Ooh.
Kansas City. There's rumors
I
about
I
that.
saw that, but I didn't know that was like really gonna happen.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know for sure. It hasn't been written
I'm
in
glad you've
stone
been
yet.
saying that because Lions fans been wanting him to come in here. Oh, because he's got rapport with Dan Campbell. I said that don't mean nothing. You got Brad Holmes as the damn GM. He ain't gonna sign nobody because he's cheap. Anyway.
So what the Saints are
Okay.
doing, they're not keeping ties as they used to in the past with old players. And so, I mean, you got a new regime in here. You got Kellen Moore, Brandon Staley. They want their young players. They want to. They got a new philosophy. You're breaking ties with Sean Payton. That's what you're seeing here. You're breaking ties with the old regime. You're letting guys
Mhm.
go that you know that are like they're a little long in the tooth. They're hanging along. Yeah, although Cam had 10.5 sacks last season, you just though still he may fall off this year, and you don't want to pay him like he's not falling off. Same with Demario Davis, even though you know he's the heart and soul of that defense, he's the leader in that team. Next to Drew Brees, he's probably the second best free agent the Saints organization has probably ever had. But he's 37. You have to let him go. You gotta let younger guys come in, and you gotta. I
Let it
know it's just
go.
it's yes. Another love TKO is really hidden in the
Another
defensive part
little
side of it.
TKO.
Yeah,
Let him go.
but
That was
right.
funny.
With that said, you know we all getting tired singing. But
Yes,
with that said,
Raven and going on.
I think that I like the way things are going. The David Edwards is a truly underrated signing. Is probably they knew they wanted him and they gave him the money immediately. That's why it didn't take any time to get him in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's probably one of the highest guards in the left guard spot for in pass protection for PF, in PFF. So that's going to really help Shuck out and the running back. We last year the inside when I got some media for the data statistics in regards to inside zone running. Alvin Kamara wasn't doing it. He wasn't doing it, man. And 4.3 yards per carry for Etienne. I keep wanting to say Etienne, but as for Travis Etienne, he's got 4.3 a clip. And so
Mm-hmm.
he's fresh. We got him for 4 years. A lot of people think that contract might be a little bit too expensive. 4 years, 52 million, but it's really not. When you think about it, he's 13 million a year. You're about to see guys get paid. You're about to see B, your guy. He's gonna break the bank. Uh, Jameer
Jameer.
Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna probably be seeing 16, 17, 18 million a year. You're probably going to see 16, 17, 18 million a year for Bijan. Those guys are going to break the bank. So 2027 is about to be on and popping. And then in the long run, when we see what we got for 4 years, you got age 27, 28, 29, and 30 for Travis Etienne. We got him for a steal at that price. So I'm
Yep.
excited. And then this opens the door for the draft. That's what I wanted to
Mhm.
say. Picking at number 8 overall, don't be surprised if Jeremiah Love falls to 8, they still might pick a running back, and you'll have both those running backs. And the way they restructured Kamara's contract, he either may retire, stay on the team, or get traded to another team, maybe like the Broncos, Sean Payton reunion.
Wow.
You never know. So we'll see that. But again, the door is open because we need another linebacker. We may get Sonny Styles. We can get a guy like Caleb Downs, considering we lost what's his name? You just mentioned it,
Alante
Alante
Taylor.
Taylor. Yes, he can play that same role because he's like a really a beast at what he did at in Ohio State. So my point is, we're in good position. We're in good position for the draft, and I'm ready because
Well,
the South it need to see us. We coming up, just like you say with your team.
we
We coming. We coming.
Absolutely. We come in and let me close it out with for the NFL statement with my Panthers. Okay, I saved it. Biggest splash by any team was made by the Carolina Panthers for the top edge rusher and top inside linebacker on the market within the same 48-hour window. The reason why is it's a massive 4-year, $120 million deal for Jalen Phillips out of Philadelphia. $80 million guaranteed. Nobody else has got that kind of money this week. Nobody. This is the largest contract ever in NFL history given to a free agent edge rusher. Panthers got the big bucks, okay? Phillips recorded 63 pressures in 2025, more than twice of any total Panthers player, y'all. So we needed him. He is expected to fix the defense that had league lows 8.7 pressures last season. He was traded to Miami, then to Philadelphia midseason. Then he proved to be healthy and definitely, accentuated that team in pressures by week 9. Then we got Devin Lloyd, another big contract. 3 years,
I think that was your
$45
biggest
million.
signing.
$45 million with 25 guaranteed. Lloyd chose Carolina himself over the Saints and the Bengals, who was beating down his door, who had been beating down his door since Monday night, March 9th. This ain't something I'm saying. This is what folks are saying. They was wanting this dude. He said, I'm going to Charlotte. And so he will be serving as our green dot signal caller to Ejiro Evero's defense and bringing an all-pro pedigree to the middle of the field. Of course, this works on our offensive depth and homecoming. John Mechie III, Bryce's right hand, is reunited. Them Alabama boys are back. 1-year deal on March 11th. Wide receiver, because y'all know Xavier Legette is not looking that good. Let's be clear. Mechie was his college teammate in Alabama. In his last season, he combined 29 catches, 256 yards, 2 touchdowns, while splitting time between the Jets and the Eagles. He's going to also provide value as a great kick returner because he had 120 return yards in 2025. Then, as if we didn't need a couple more folks, we got Kenny Pickett as a backup quarterback. 1-year deal. We didn't give him the $1.3 million base that everybody else is getting. We gave this ninja $7.5 million with $4 million guaranteed. That means Andy Dalton is probably going to be getting out of the door really soon, because now that we have him in, the Red Rifle can take his gun cases out and hang them up because he's probably done. He's going to replace him. He was released to save $5.8 million. So, correction, Andy's gone. He was the primary backup to Bryce. And Pickett spent 2025 as a backup in Vegas. Then we got Luke Fortner, the center, 1-year deal. We're not giving 1.3. We got money in Carolina. Everybody else getting 1.3. This ninja got 4.75 just to come in and replace Mays. Then to wrap it up, we're giving a $2 million one-year deal to Stone Forsythe, offensive tackle. Death. And while Ikwanu recovers from that torn patella tendon that he had, retaining our core and everything else, even though we lost some people, we re-signed LeBron Ray, we re-signed Akalib Evans, Robert Rochelle, David Moore, and then as of today, we have officially re-signed linebacker Claudin Chirilas, who was the key special teams contributor and the emergency starter that we had in 2025. And we released Ashawn Robinson, God bless you, in a move that cleared $12.5 million so we could spend it on Phillips and Lloyd signing. And offensive tackle Josh Nijman officially announced his retirement on yesterday from the Panthers after 2 seasons. So the South, as T.I. say and everybody say, got something to say. The South is where it's at. I'm extremely happy. Gonna run through some little basketball news real quick, and then we're gonna hop off here because we're literally like flying at this point. So I'll ask you guys your feedback while I'm pulling that up. Any feedback on the Panthers? You know what we bring in, James? B, what y'all got to say?
I think you overpaid for Jalen Phillips, but you're gonna do that in free agency anyway.
Okay.
He wasn't worth that much money to me.
I like the Devin Lloyd selection.
The Devin Lloyd one was the thing. I think I was most impressed with Carolina grabbing was Devin Lloyd. He's going to be a difference maker on that team.
Yeah,
he definitely is.
Get ready. All right, SGA.
You're going to need him.
What you say, James?
You're going to need him.
Oh, we got it. We got this. We didn't spend all that money for nothing. I may have to go down there and suit up if DB. On yesterday, on James's birthday, SGA, one of his favorite players in the NBA, made history. 104-102 win over the Celtics. He scored 35 points, marking his 127th consecutive game with at least 20 points, breaking Wilt Chamberlain's 1963 record. That record was over 62 years old, and he broke it. And right now, the Detroit Pistons and the Oklahoma City Thunder are leading their respective conferences as the league enters the final stretch of regular season. And then March Madness, we're wrapping up with that. Conference tournament chaos started today. The Big Ten, Michigan edged out Ohio State. Congratulations, Michigan. Definitely congratulations. I'm glad Ohio State went down. Fern, I hope you're watching. In a nail biter. Meanwhile, Wisconsin survived an overtime thriller against Illinois, winning 91-98.
The upset, actually.
Florida knocked off Kentucky, likely pushing the Wildcats down to a 5 or 6 seed. Oklahoma's on a 6-game win streak, heading to their quarterfinal against Arkansas. A win today will likely clinch their tournament berth. Big East, of course, number 13, St. John's is currently facing Seton Hall in a high-stakes semifinal, and St. John's is looking to stay in the top 3 seed. And then let's move on down. You guys already know about Duke. You know about South Carolina, and you know about all them. And that's all we got for today. Make sure y'all join B and J's in the morning. Got an early morning, 8 a.m. for the debate show with Jack Hirsch, and then Sunday morning for the big sports show. Any closing thoughts, guys, before we make like these money and hop on out of here?
Just something. You got Duke has lost a pretty good player for the rest of the season. And Caleb, what the hell is his name? Caleb.
Yeah, he broke his hand.
And it showed against Florida State. They damn near almost lost that game.
Yeah.
So
it's something going on with the Calebs because UNC lost their Caleb Williamson to like a hand injury right before. I said, they jinxed us because they weren't going nowhere. So now they try to get jinxed up.
It's the Caleb unfriendly year. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm wearing my women's Duke team because we win. They've won again. This is last year. They won again. And them Duke boys just won't quit, like Roscoe said. Duke boys. All right, guys.
Them Dukes,
Roscoe. All right. So B, James, and myself have had an amazing time with you guys. If you're seeing the replay, please still comment because we come back and check comments later. And make sure you guys join us on this platform for more shows throughout the entire weekend. And y'all have a great one. I love you, Pearson.